Okay. Bobcat 325. Got it took apart. Don't have a thumb, but it has a place for one, and it has the auxiliary hydraulics too. And he's taking this all apart himself. This thing will run. And here's the engine. It goes in. He's got a new engine to go in it. Not a new one, but this is a Kubota engine. The Kubota will go in the Mini X here. And he said we could crank the Mini X up and move it if when we're ready to load. What happened is it's got a hole in the block. I don't know if you can see it or not. Don't have a light on here, but right in there. See if I can. You can't really see it. It's in the dark. There it is a little bit. You can see some of it where he's got the hole covered up so it won't leak oil while he's cranking it and running it. It runs on let's see, I guess it runs on 2 cylinders because it is a 3-cylinder engine right there. But anyway, this is it. It's got, I think he said like, it shows the hours. Here's the hour meter right here. He said he's pretty sure it's right. It looks like 1,814 hours on it. This is the engine here. See if I can get around here too so I can show the rest of it. That's the 3-cylinder. It does look a lot like that one. It does look like that one. Yeah, they're the same pretty much. Yeah. This is where the radiator goes in. This side looks good. It's got the push bar on the front. And there's your hydraulic tank and your fuel tank. There's your filter. This is all covered when you get it all together. Looks like it's all here. Just been kind of folded up and taken apart. But there you go. And I'm gonna walk out here in the dark in a minute too, and we'll take a shot of the cab because he's got all the cab for it here too. Anyway, there you go. Let me back up a little bit and get a full shot of it here so you can see it. That's it. It's all there. There you go. And let me get out here and get this other picture. This is where the cab is. That's the cab right there to the Bobcat. This is the whole cab for it. This is the pieces that wraps around the body right there. The doors and all that stuff. Okay. So what you just saw was redneck ingenuity. We have gotten a chain on both sides of this here to lift this up. This actually wasn't incredibly heavy. I was able to pick it up with a pry bar. So we were able to do that by hand. This was the tough part because it was even picking the back end of our Coyote tractor up. So what we did is we put a chain here first, but we went and cut some angle iron and put it right here in the way of this cylinder that's holding all the weight on that. And you can't move the angle iron and the chain still has tension.
So if one were to give way, either one, it's still held up by the other one. So I think we're good there. So that's kind of what we did there. And we did this because, as you can see, this is not really in running mode or capability. So we did this so we could lift this up and put poles underneath it to roll it outside, hopefully out there, to be able to, like I say, hopefully steam clean it, because it is pretty nasty. And we want to do that while we got everything apart. We can see everything, get it all cleaned up good. So that's the plan there. So here we go. What do you? I think it's all the jack I got.
Is it?
I think.
Okay, we're starting on this engine here. This engine right here is being replaced with another one that we have over on the front side. You'll see it in a few minutes. We're going to put this engine on this stand right now and get ready to start stripping it down, because I'll show you why in just a minute, while we're replacing the engine on this. And this video's starting basically after we've already tore it down, because we bought this thing tore down. So you're seeing it as we got it, with the exception of one metal piece that we took across the top off, right across here, to get the engine out. But it was already stripped apart, so you're pretty much seeing it as we received it. So let me jack this up and then we'll... That's probably high enough. What I'm going to do is put this plate on the back right here. These are 12 millimeter 1.25 bolts, 1.25 thread pitch, 12 millimeter, and it should fit right in the top. We've already checked that, and with our measurements, yep, fits right in there. So I'm gonna hang this. If I can get it started, this thing is really heavy. Woo, goodness, that thing's heavy. I'm gonna put this one right here, like this. I'll get these bolts out, because they're keeping me from putting that together. Start that one back in place. Okay, evidently, 1.25 thread pitch is not real popular. The 1.50 must be, but these are 1.25s. I found these two in 12 millimeter, but the bottom two bolts that goes in down here are they 8? No, they're 10 millimeter. I'm sorry, 10 millimeter 1.25, and they didn't have them. All they had was 10 millimeter 1.50. So I'm going to do something that's kind of unorthodox. I'm going to get my tap set. I'm going to tap these out to 1.25. It's going to screw the threads up real bad, but I think we can get these to go in here and hold this motor, because most of the pressure is going to be on the top. Because I don't think, I may have to turn it upside down, but we'll just have to be careful with it. I mean, you know, I'll just have to be real careful with these. These screw in a long way too. So we're going to tap these out to fit the bottom. You know, why they got two different size bolts, I don't know. These are 12 millimeter, and the ones down here at the bottom are 10 millimeter. So I couldn't get 10s and 1.25, so that's what we're gonna do. So, all right, so what we gotta do is, let's see, I gotta come up with a 10 millimeter 1.25 die, not a tap, a die, which is these are dies, and these are taps. Taps are in here, dies are down here. And I'm not sure if this is the metric set or not. Let me get where I can see. These are standard. I've got a full standard set and a full metric set. And here's the metric set right here. So, but you see the boxes look identical, but it says, it used to say metric standard. I don't know, it don't say it anymore. I'm so old. I've had these things for probably 30 years, but some of them are missing out of the kits, but most of them are here. But it says 10 millimeter 1.25 on it. I know you can't read that, and there's no way I can zoom that up, but it says it on the top of it there. So what we'll do is we'll put this in a vise. See, that's starting on there real good, but it's not gonna go, it's just gonna start.
Right.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this tool here, slide it on it, tighten the screw down so it'll hold it on there, it won't fall off. Or it's supposed to not fall off. And now we can just recut these threads. One point. Oh, sorry. 1.25. Yeah, finding what we need is, you know, like overnight is pretty tough. You can't really find any shops that has stuff like this anymore. There used to be a lot of places around our town that you could find whatever you wanted. Like different thread pitch stuff. You could find hydraulic cylinder parts, but all those guys that sell that stuff have gone out of business, and now there's just big companies that do it online. So you got to go online to do this stuff now, and it's really aggravating because you have to wait. I'm gonna run it all the way up. I'm just kind of, you go in and out a couple times to kind of clean the threads up. Now hopefully I hadn't eat the threads off there enough that it ain't gonna work, but we'll see how it works. You try to start this in one of those, you gotta loosen these up to get them to slide down like that. Get this to slide. We'll fill these in with some nuts because I want it to be tight. Because when we start turning the motor, I don't want it moving. You know what I mean? So that's going to work. So we'll go ahead and get the second one ready, and it'll be right here. And there it is, the second bolt. I think I can get it in there though. All right. So what we're going to have to do first though is shim those up. That'll hold it now. Can I get to that enough to tighten it? All right, that's tight. That ought to hold it right there. Now, all right, now we got to get this on here. The best way to do this, I know it's kind of crazy, but let me show you. Jack that up for me. Just jack it up a good bit. Going up, yeah. That's probably good right there. Now, let's take this whole thing here. There we go. Now it's in there. Now let me put a bolt through that opening right there. There you go. It's in, okay? All right. Pull it out here. There you go. That's all right. All right, now we can pull that out of the way. We got the engine on the stand here. So now we'll start disassembling this thing. That's gonna probably be a 12 millimeter. More than likely it's probably laying there. See if there's a 12. All right. Loosen your bottom one just a little bit. You can get in there with a wrench, and then it'll come on over. Probably one of them wrenches laying over there. That probably one of these. Can you get to it? There you go. Yeah, you can get to it. Yeah, there you go. So that just falls in. I'll probably come off there now. Okay, this is another day, and we're going to start out by removing a bunch of the parts that we took off this engine. That is, where's the engine at? Let me see. Engine right here. We got the good engine anyway. It's not a new engine, but it's a good engine. We got it mounted on the stand. We got to take the head off of it because it's got a different valve cover, a rocker arm cover, than the other engine. The other engine had 2 bolts right in the top of it that held it down. This one's got bolt holes on the side, so it's a whole different head, same block. So we're going to swap the head out with the other one, and it's over here somewhere. Where's it at, JD? There, oh, right there. There it is, right somewhere, right there, on top of that table right there. We'll be using it. So right now he's laying all the parts out. We're going to take them one at a time over to the cleaning vat over here, and we'll to clean up all the parts. And then you'll be seeing them shortly as we're cleaning them up, getting the gaskets off of them, because we have a new gasket set right here that the guy gave us too. We haven't opened the box, so I'm hoping it's the right thing. So we'll see shortly. So. All right, we encountered a problem. We were trying to turn the engine over so that we could clean the tops of the pistons and it wouldn't turn, but our engine stand is hitting the back of the crankshaft. So we're going to space it out a little wider with some washers to see if we can get that fixed. Come on. There you go, right there. Sit right there. That'll work. Now we're safe.
Okay.
Now loosen these two. See how much we got. Don't let that fall off, okay? I'll be right back. All right. Let's start. Run it back in a little more. Don't tighten it. Just run it up till it's right against the. Okay. Right there. That's good. Won't lose it. In fact, go ahead, just tighten it up. Because I think we're done. Yeah. All right. Tighten that one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Tighten the two top ones. Okay, got it?
Yep.
See, it's not touching it now.
Yeah.
So that should work. All right, now we gotta go back in. And out. A little further.
Yeah, you just gotta lift up.
You're gonna have to hold the metal part, this is the red part, because it wants to roll. Okay. There you go. I've been cleaning up parts and he's been getting heads ready, but what happened, we was going to swap the heads because the valve cover on the good engine has got two holes in the top of it, a hole here and a hole here that holds the valve cover down. Well, the valve cover on the new engine we got has got holes around the sides, as you can see there. So it's, and the cylinder heads coincide with this. In other words, if you look at the tops of the cylinder heads are that way. But so we was going to swap the head, and you know, this is the good engine because the head's different. And what we've run into on the differences is this cylinder head has got a hole here and a hole here. They look like they're coolant holes, but there's not any here and not any here on this end. But there are two on this end, and there are two on this end. And this is the head that was actually on the original engine. Right? Yeah. Well, we were going to use this head because it appeared to be good. Well, we just cleaned it up, and look what we've run into. Let me show you this center cylinder here. If you look, this is chunks out of this cylinder head right there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a big chunk out right there and a chunk out there. All these are big chunks out of this cylinder head right here, or this cylinder. See, this cylinder looks good. This one looks good, but the middle one don't. And I'm not sure, was it the middle one that was broke on the other engine? Did you?
That one goes to this engine.
Right, but the other engine, the outside, was it the middle?
It was the first piston.
Really? It was
Yeah,
the front
cylinder.
one. So it was the front cylinder, but for some reason, the middle cylinder on the bad engine also looks like it took a piece of garbage into the cylinder at some point.
No, this
And,
this goes on this engine.
Oh, this is the,
Yeah, that one's the one that went on this engine.
oh, it went on this one. Oh,
Yeah.
so this is the good engine. But since we took the head off, now we found that the good engine head that we're going to need to use back because the portholes are not right has got some big old chunks out of it. But I'm not sure if it's creating a problem. As long as this seat still works right here on this valve, and see, this is going to be the exhaust. That's the intake. The intake valve's always bigger. But see, this is going to be the intake valve, and as long as it's sealing off and we got compression, I don't think it'll hurt anything. But I'm gonna take it to a machine shop and let them look at this and make sure before we decide. So we're gonna load both the heads up, and I'm gonna explain to him why I can't use that head, which I wanted to do because it's got a different valve cover. But we can use this head; it don't matter. I just want to make sure that those chunks that are broke out. See, something got in there on that cylinder. This thing must have made a noise or something at some point. This engine, but that piston looks good, don't it? Don't see anything down in that piston or these two. It looks real good, but something got down in on that cylinder. And I mean, we're ready to assemble this thing, and now here we're to stand still because of this. Even got my timing cover cleaned up real good right there, and I got to clean some gasket material off, but put a new seal on the front. But we're getting ready to put this thing back in, but of course I don't want to put it in yet because I want to clean this outside. That's another issue we got. We got to try to figure out how to get this thing outside so we can pressure wash it, but also it's 28 degrees outside, so running into problems. But anyway, well, we'll move further. I'll be back after I've taken this to the machine shop and had it looked at and let him make a decision about whether we can put this head back on the good engine. I want to do that. I'm kind of like JD here. We were not going to take this head off, but we ended up having to because the valve cover didn't fit. But then I determined, well, we could still use the other valve cover. It don't matter because all this engine does is drive the hydraulic pump. As long as it fits and hooks up and connects, it'll work. But it's got some issues here that I want to resolve before we go back together. So we'll go a little further and see what we've got. Hey, you wouldn't look right there and grab me a coffee can, would you? There should be an empty one right there.
Yeah.
There. Having to work out back here, and I don't have all my tools, so I don't know what size socket to get. So I brought 2 or 3 to get the right one. That's it. It's a 17. I used to could look at them and tell what size they are, but I can't do it no more. I don't know, since I got older. It looks like 10 millimeter. Guess what I spent the last 2 or 3 minutes hunting? Couldn't find. You guessed it, 10 millimeter. But we always lose our 10 millimeter. Stuck there. Get the whole thing loose. There it is. I'm going to take it apart, but I want to do that on the bench. See, it's separated right here. That's okay, but I don't want it to come apart yet. I'm going to clean the inside of it up, make sure it's good before I do this. So let's drop it down in here. Put all my tools in here. And I think it might be all I gotta have is all this, I believe. I'll look, make sure, because I'm having to steal stuff off of this motor. Better take that nut. I'll probably need that nut too. All right, start to pour down rain, so let me get back in the shop. Okay. So this back piece right here is missing off this thing. Let's see what that is. We go back to that engine again, that old engine. Let's take a look, see. Get over there. Turn this thing over sideways so I can see. Yeah, see this housing has got to come off. Those 2 bolts there, I think they held a bracket on the other engine, so they're probably already in there somewhere. I'm gonna take these 2 out, take this bracket out, this box here off. I don't know what's under that. There's probably some kind of gear or something. We got to change that out because that's got to be on there. I'm gonna get my wrench. Looks like it's about a 12 millimeter. Let me grab it. All right, let's see if I can get this off of here. That bolt. There we go. All that is just a cover. I don't know, a little bit of just diesel fuel in there mainly. Just need to be spots of water, but I just gotta put this cover on that. That's all that is, just a cover. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna clean this gasket area here, make sure it's hadn't got anything in the way. I normally would use a buffer on this, but this is kind of tied up against the engine block right there, as you can see, and it's kind of ain't much room to work, so I'm just gonna scrape it by hand. Won't take but a minute here to get this clean, because it's coming off pretty good. That's probably good enough. Let me grab a rag here. Wipe it off a little bit. That must be designed for some kind of a drive you could put on the back if you need to, but this one don't have one, don't need it, so. Okay, I just run into a problem here. Going through the whole gasket set, and there's no gasket for that cover. You know, it's about yay big square. It looks like the biggest gasket I got. It's a little tiny one right here. There ain't no great big one. There's the one for that big plate around the back, which I don't need to replace now. It's okay, but I don't see in any of this that that gasket. So don't know what I'm gonna do from here. I can't do that. I'll have to order that gasket. I do know what I'm gonna do. There's an oil pan gasket. We'll go ahead and work on this some more on some other areas, and I'll put that cover on there later. All right, get the cylinder head up. Cylinder head here ready. We'll flip it over, make sure that it's good and clean. It should be, because the machine shop just brought it back. A little rust right there. I want to see if I can kind of pull that off there with a scraper. And I can see that there's some pretty good pit spots on this head. They look like hammer heads. Looks pretty bad right there, but basically it's just this is a remanufactured head. But it is, but it's okay. I've already had the machine shop check it out, so we're gonna mount it to the engine now. So here we go. All right, we're gonna try to get this head set on here. Let me get it turned the right way. I don't know why they ain't line up. Apparently, I just didn't have it lined up right. Just need a little light over there to get in there. All right. I'm going this right here. Okay. All these head bolts are super clean. They got just a little dab of oil on them, so we're just gonna stick them right back in here. I don't see any problem with that. We'll get them started, and then we'll get the torque specs and we'll torque them down.
This is the WRCQ 419 Peak Seal repeater on Dot Gap, Southbound Alabama.
These bolts are 14 millimeter. Okay, guys, this is about a few weeks later of us working on this Trackhoe, and I apologize for the delay, but you know, I'm working by myself, and we've been kind of sidetracked, and you know, a lot of other things coming up on the farm that we're having to take care of, and it's just kind of making me short-handed. We're going to end this video right here. We have actually got the motor, you know, partially assembled, and we'll be videoing the rest of this, putting this together and getting it back in the Trackhoe and getting it going. I'm kind of anxious to get it going myself, because we sure do need to use it here at the farm, because we've had some issues around here where we need to use it really bad. So just stay with us. You know, we'll try to get this next video posted up. This will be part 1. I don't know how many parts we'll have. Maybe it'll just be 2. I'm hoping we'll have the engine put in and be able to just up and use it. But I honestly don't know what kind of shape the hydraulics are in on this thing, so we may have to do some hydraulic work too. So if we do, it'll continue on from there. So just stay with us. Green Creek Farms, you know, be sure to like and subscribe. If there's anything that y'all need, just be sure and, you know, comment below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.